Welcome to The Art of Living. I am with Myron Kaminsky today, and Myron is an honorary board member on our Hospice Savannah Foundation. Thanks for doing this, Myron. We appreciate it. Tell me how you got started with Hospice Savannah, because I know you've been around for a long time with the organization.
Yes. Well, it was many years ago, and I was riding home from work, and Ann Stewart, who was the executive director at the time, she was on the radio, and they were having, an announcement that they were having a hospice meeting, and it was open to the public, and it was at the church on Washington Avenue, and then it was sort of like an interview with her and talking about what hospice was, which I had no idea, and what it did and what it meant and what the goal and the mission was. And when it got to the point about that people should not have to die alone or have to die with dignity, they should die with dignity, it resonated with me because my sister at the time was going through cancer, breast cancer, and she wasn't talking very much about it, so I didn't know how sick she was or what was going on, and it just clicked, and I just went to the meeting, and Ann Stewart was there, and I believed it. Kubler-Ross.
Really? Elizabeth Kubler-Ross?
Yeah, she was there. I can't remember it was so long ago. This is 30
is
years
almost,
ago.
yeah, well, it's almost 40 years ago, or
maybe
maybe
40,
over.
Yeah, but either she quoted her, and it
Probably quoted her.
Yeah, quoted her. Okay, but talked so much about her, and that because she was like the founder of this movement, and I sat in the back of the room, and I'm not really, I don't go volunteering, or I don't want to be on boards or that I'm not totally, involved with. So I just listened, and I listened to Ann, and I listened to, about what hospice was, and what her goal was, and to have a hospice house, and to have, people to be able to go out to people's homes, and this was not happening right then. I mean, we used to meet in the senior citizens building on Bull Street, and there was I think we had 12 patients. But anyway, I just I listened, and I just sort of got me, and I just after the meeting, I went up and I introduced myself, and I said, Ann, I want to be involved in this, and we talked, and next thing I knew, I was on the board.
Wow. Well, Ann Stewart just passed away in October, but she was our founding executive director, and it was really her passion that brought Hospice Savannah to this community back in 1979. So this was probably in 1978 or 1979 if it hadn't even started. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Myron has been with us then since before day one, and has been a faithful board member, served on various boards for a long time. So this message resonated with you, and you have seen Hospice Savannah grow, and the different programs grow. Tell us particularly about Camp Aloha, because your business, Southern Motors, every time you sell a vehicle, you make a donation, and it goes specifically towards Camp Aloha. Why did you choose that program?
Well, it was for kids, and for a lot of these kids, they don't have the facilities that they can go talk to people. And these kids have lost a parent, lost siblings, or whatever, and I heard the message about what this camp wanted to do, and so that got me. And so we sponsor, we have 3 dealerships, and for every car that we sell, we put aside so much money per car, and we've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
And then we make a check out quarterly, and now I think because of the generous what the account has done, I think we've been able to do other things other than just Camp Aloha. I think we've been able to be part of other bereavement services
that we offer through
Yeah.
Full Circle.
Yeah.
And because of those donations, then children from anywhere can come to that camp that is the first weekend of May, and there is no charge. And it's not inexpensive. We have a very high volunteer to child ratio. It's usually actually about 1 to 1. So
Yeah, I used to volunteer for the camp.
did you?
I did, and in the beginning I used to volunteer, and the kids they have a wonderful time, but yet they also have a time to talk about their loss and what they're feeling, and and it's wonderful.
Yeah, it makes you realize, or that it helps them realize that they're not the only one. They don't feel so weird anymore, that there are other kids in the same situation.
And for a lot of these kids, like I said, this is the only counseling they'll ever get.
Yes. Yeah. Is there a particular story or a child that you remember that touched you?
Yes. Well, the first year I was there, they, as I had talked about, they have a lot of play time, and they have a lot of swim time, and then they have a lot of serious time, and that's in the individual. The kids, according to their age, are broken out into
Various
groups,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had the young kids, and I believe they were the youngest ones. They were very young. They were like 6 years old.
You were brave.
Yeah, I was young, but so what we would do is we would sit around in the cabin, and they were supposed to write letters to their to
The person
people
who
had died in their family, and so I had this little girl that was on my lap, and she was, just a cute little girl, and we were talking. She wanted to know what she's supposed to do, and I said, well, we're going to write, and I'll help you write, a goodbye to who you've lost. And she said, well, I don't know who to write about. And I said, well, who did you lose? But she told me that she lost her twin.
Oh my goodness.
And she also that year lost her father.
Oh wow.
And she wanted to write letters to both of them.
Wow, her twin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was your
yeah,
special
that was
memory
just,
of
yeah,
camp.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, I know that you and your wife, Fran, and your whole family for that matter, really believe in philanthropy, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about too. I mentioned at the beginning you were just recently named an honorary board member for our foundation. Talk about why you feel it's important for people to support nonprofits and for them to support Hospice Savannah in particular. Why do you feel called to do that?
Well, I told you how I feel, but I think that in this community there are a lot of organizations that need support, and my choice has been hospice, and I think that you've got to if you get something from this community, you certainly have to give back, and we've been very fortunate. My family has been very fortunate, been able to give back, and everyone should feel like.
Well, thank you, Myron. If you are interested in giving to the Hospice Savannah Foundation, just give us a call at 912-355-2289.